Today we're going to show you a major upgrade to your water catchment tank that'll be a game changer. I'm talking about the floating valve outlet. Traditionally, when you turn on the tap, you're drawing from the dirtiest water in the entire tank because most people install their outlet pipes like this. See that? That's pulling water out of your tank right where the water is dirtiest. The floating outlet valve instead draws water from the center of the water catchment, where the water is cleanest. Every water tank needs one of these installed. You get cleaner water, and your pumps and filters will love you for it. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But for those of you who live on the east side of the Big Island, who would just like to hire someone to do it instead, you can reach out to cleanyourtanks.hi.com. That's a water maintenance company that I just started up, and currently we're offering new customers $25 off any service I offer just by entering the coupon code new customer upon checkout. So these are the parts you're going to need to get started. I made a free PDF for you all with the parts describing the complete process, and that link is down in the description below. There's not too much that you're going to need to make this project happen, but what's important is that you know the size of your outlet pipe, because sometimes they're an inch, sometimes they're an inch and a quarter, and depending on that will depend on the size of material that you get here. So the first thing we're going to do is head over to our outlet pipe and go ahead and cut it on off. I use a pipe cutter, and then you can pull it right out of the tank. You can see here, this is our outlet pipe with the foot valve and the section of pipe that goes inside the water, and the section we just cut off there, that's outside of the tank. This is our union here, and you can see that what it does is it joins two pieces together, and you could always take them on and off at a later point if you need to. The part that screws off here with the umbrella there goes on top, and the part that it screws onto will go on bottom. So make sure that you get that little umbrella part on the pipe first. Go ahead and apply some primer on both the union and the pipe, and then we're going to apply some of the PVC glue. If you never worked with PVC, glued PVC before, don't worry, it's pretty straightforward. You just got to do exactly what I'm doing there. And give it a little twist, and that really helps make sure that pipe is, or that piece is glued on real nicely. Next, glue the bottom piece onto the piece of pipe that you cut off over there at the tank. Same process, primer and glue, and then go ahead and give it a little twist on there, and that's ready to go. And then we want to figure out where we're going to start our floating valve, and we want to go about a third of the way up from the bottom, or a third of the way up from the foot valve. Go ahead and cut that with some pipe cutters, and then we're gonna measure out our length of flexible tubing. I like about 3 feet, about arm's width apart. You can go ahead and cut that with some pipe cutters, and then we're gonna fit our barb fittings into this pipe. First, put on a hose clamp, then you can push on the 3/4 inch barb fitting that we have here. Preferably these are made of something else, but this is all Home Depot had. But tighten down those hose clamps and make those barb fittings nice and secure. Pretty sure here we use the 8mm socket, and we're gonna put some tape on top of that, and I like to make sure that it goes clockwise around the thread, so that when I screw it on, all the tape stays nice and tight. And you can see I have the tape coming off the bottom of the roll there, and that just makes it easier to roll it nice and tightly there. So we're going to screw that on now to our 3/4 inch female to 1 inch slip fitting that we bought here at Home Depot, and this converts the pipe from PVC pipe to this poly hose. Pretty much it's pretty easy. You could just for me, I could at least screw it in by hand. And then we're just going to go ahead and glue it onto our pipe section there the same way as we glued everything else already. We're going to use a little primer first. Try not to be too messy. You don't need too much primer. Same with the glue. Just go ahead, put a little glue on both fittings, and then push it on there and give it a little twist. Make sure that all that glue is settled all around that pipe. And then go ahead and do the same with the other end. Some primer, some glue, and make sure the fitting is nice and snug as you push the two pieces into each other. And this is our little float that we're going to make here, homemade float. It's made from a 1 foot section of 3-inch PVC pipe, and I got two 3-inch end caps. And in one of those end caps, I drilled a hole, a 3/8 inch hole, and put in an eye hook so that I can attach the 3-inch pipe here to the foot valve with some, what are they called? Zip ties. So you can see here that I'm attaching a zip tie around the foot valve pipe there and then through the eye hook. I have a couple zip ties kind of zipped together to give me a little bit of length because just one is a little bit too short. But there you have it. Then all you got to do is just get it back into the tank. Make sure that you fill that pipe up with water. You could just like dunk it into the tank and make sure that that pipe is completely refilled with water. And then you can go ahead and re-screw it back onto the tank with the union there. And you can see here that we screwed it back on. It's real easy process when you have that union. And inside, you can see our newly installed foot valve collecting clean water from the middle of the water catchment. I bet you can now tell why installing one of these floating valves will change your water quality in an instant, right? But there's something else you need to ensure you have the cleanest water catchment.